We're in week 21 of the framework for faculty and student success course. Um, Last week, we looked at the uh, assessments and outcomes alignment. Now we're going to get more specific into the alignment with objectives and outcomes, and then an explanation of alignment, which I don't think we really need. Um, well, we don't need it in this course because we've talked about it a lot in the past month or two. But I think this is more explaining it to your students and giving them a transparent view of what your or how your course is structured and how the learning takes place. So just to jump right in, week 21, securing alignment with program level outcomes. Um, we're if we're following through the building of this building where we've got quite a bit done. Um, Simon says secure the roof structure while standing on scaffolding to keep your content secure. Secure? I don't know if that really relates, but it says here, week 21, by confirming that your assessments directly support what you want your students to learn and demonstrate, you add the final measure of stability. I like that. That makes more sense to me. Oh, so I guess secure. I'm thinking secure like computer, is your computer secure? But this is more like stable, secure. When learners see how each assessment logically connects to both unit and course goals, they can climb with confidence, knowing every step leads to genuine mastery. I agree with that. Our objective this week: strengthen the link between the assessments and the learning outcomes by ensuring each evaluation strategy clearly supports specific module level objectives and course level outcomes. So this is really where we're going to start looking at the assessments and how, whether or not what you actually have them doing um, helps them to meet, whether it's the module level objective, and hopefully if you have it aligned, if they're meeting that module level, then they're also meeting that course level outcome. Speaking of alignment, I would say this is more focused on communication this week, talking to your students and letting them know about the alignment. And for the PLO skill standards, this would be implementing curriculum and assessments. And we're for our CLOs, assessment alignment. And I'll give you all the secret code later on. Let's go ahead and just jump right in. So this is 3.1. I'm going to put this in the chat for y'all so that you can follow along and read on your own. But the indicator 3.1.A, alignment with module level objective and course level outcomes. And I don't think I said hi to Don. Don, good to see you again. Welcome.
Good day.
Okay. I'm gonna give you all a chance to read this on your own, and then we can talk about it. This one is quite lengthy, so maybe we'll just go section by section. So why don't we start with the first part here, so y'all can read all of this, and then we're going to talk about it. Hello, Jaya.
I missed you. I missed this meeting.
Yeah,
Uh,
happy you're here.
Well, I just came in because, I work at this time, but I hadn't been doing the trainings. I've just been attending your fabulous sessions, but I really haven't seen you since last year. So, hi
Yeah,
guys. Hi everyone here. Derek, Tracy, Dawn, anyone else who's here. Sorry to interrupt.
you're not interrupting. We're
Okay.
Happy New
just
Year.
yeah,
Thank you. Same to you.
lunar and solar. Um,
Oh yeah,
so we're
Lunar.
we're reading we're reading this one. I just put it into the chat. 3.1. Real quick, Jaya, I got your email and I'm going to respond to it after this class. I just haven't had a time to
That's great. I felt like these were two different experiences, though. So thank you for acknowledging that email. Thanks.
I did get it and I just trying to get everything ready here, so it was not I didn't have time. But
I
after
get
this,
it.
I'll
I
look
get
at
it.
it. Okay, so basically, well, what do y'all think about this? These couple paragraphs here. What's your main takeaway from what it says? For me, I felt like this was a kind of a continuation of what we've been talking about. It's that we're now at that level. I talked about it before. It's like, okay, you got college wide, you got program, you got course outcomes, you got your module objectives. Now, the last step is the actual thing that the students are going to be able to do. And then uh, hopefully it has some sort of, like you put it together with a bloom. You want to make sure that the bloom level matches. And so the as you continue to read, and we'll actually, I think we'll talk about it from here together. But if your assessments are not aligned with what you want them to do in the module, then you're kind of missing the point, and the students aren't getting the knowledge that they should be at the time that they should be getting it. And so I like examples to kind of show what it means. And so here I'm looking at quantum physics. This is a course that people take and learn about how the world is all connected. The course outcome, we have Bloom's level analyze. So by the end of the module, or sorry, by the end of the course, they should explain the structure of an atom. Okay, so you should be able to see an atom and then look and know what the different parts of an atom are. For the module, okay, so now we're moving down, explain the basic properties of an atom. So y'all can see how that directly is related. It's got the same Bloom's level. And then if I want the structure, I need to know the basic properties. Okay. Now, to assess this, for them to be able to explain the basic properties of an atom, do you think that giving them a multiple choice quiz is does that give them a chance to explain the basic properties of an atom? It's not, right?
That's a short answer question.
What do you mean?
It needs to be a short answer question.
Right. Not multiple choice,
Right, right.
right? Short answer, or yeah, like essay, or we'll see down here like a diagram that you can explain the basic properties of an atom if you have a diagram where you're like filling in all the stuff. And so
I've been using the fill in the blank option in Canvas New Quiz quite a bit, where because you can set it to be either open response or a drop down with options. So I feel like that's actually been really versatile. And So I'll put a diagram and I'll have it numbered, like what I want them to label or whatever. And then I'll say, like with a fill in the blank type answer, the like point, or the structure that is labeled A or 1 is A, and then they have to name it.
Mm,
So that's
that's pretty good.
yeah, I've been,
This is a new
because I
quizzes?
like anything that will grade itself. I've got
Yeah.
a lot of things, so um, having things grade themselves is nice.
I also love that as well. Jaya, do you have a question?
I had a comment about what Tracy was speaking about. I feel that I have the same kind of issues in the quizzes with regard to AI. Like I am having new challenges with the AI beyond kind of what we're doing here. So I appreciate what Tracy said, because now my quizzes are meaningless if they just go look up an answer online. So I
Mm,
like the idea of having a visual and having them have to figure that out. And I don't know. I have several students who do use AI, and there's really like I nothing I can do about it. I have no agency. So basically, I annoy certain students that use it. So now I'm stopping completely, and I mean, I'm always, yeah. So I just thought I'd mention that because I'm just always looking for ways that the students have to use their mind.
mm.
And if I don't have my eyes on them, you have to really be smart about how you create your work. That's all. Okay. That's
That's
what I want.
exactly correct. Can you just, if you have another second for the follow-up, how are they using it now where you wouldn't want them to be using it? Just
Well,
like
I
for
had
multiple choice questions?
for example, in the Canvas quizzes, if I have them um write out, explain blah blah blah, I get AI quoted back to me.
Mm,
Some students don't, but I now am stopping my fight. I'm putting the messages on my assignments. I had to put it on the quiz because he got back to me and said, "Oh, you didn't say we had to cite if we used AI." You know what I mean? I missed it on like one thing, and
mm,
they just get you for it.
mm,
How do you know what students do or don't do? Well, you're right about that, Catherine. I know, and it's been a problem because um, I don't know if they're using AI. I guess if they're really smart students, and so that's one issue that I've had is with a student who is um, apparently a very excellent English language writer, and even though his work has the voice of AI, he insists he's not using it. So yeah, so you have conflict with your students, and I will never do that again. And Catherine, I think this is something we talked about before too in the beginning, where I said I think I can tell. I don't know. I talk to my students all the time, so I can tell if they have like I feel like I can tell if they have they're using completely different language, and their whole tone is not even who they are. I guess
mm.
I feel like I'm psychic. And I know I'm not. I realize that it's like, but I somehow feel like I know. And I know I don't know. You're right. And which is why I've given it up now. This week I finally had a confrontation with the student, which I've been very polite about. Even when I've asked him, I've just asked him to cite, right? If you're using it, I'm fine. Just let me know. I feel
Mm,
like because I taught them how to use it, how to put in the prompts and how to put in their own work, and then
yeah.
how to get back and then read it and review it. But they don't do it, and I'm done. I'm done with that fight. Snuck up
I
on
mean,
me.
like you could only really go so far where
Right.
it's like if you're having the conversation about it with them and like they're aware that, you know, if they do it this way, it might not be beneficial for them in the future if they don't have that way
Yeah.
as an option.
Those
So
are hard ways to talk about the future. You know what I'm saying? I don't,
yeah.
they're in their world in the moment, and I'm not sure they think about the big picture. And I just don't want them to struggle when they get out of school, because some people, at jobs, they're going to have different policies. And yeah.
Well, it
Anyway,
sounds like you're covering your bases, and if they're not listening to you now, then maybe
yeah,
the
yeah,
voice of Jaya will come in 5 years when they're like, I don't know how to do this
right.
because I usually have AI to do it for me, but for some
Right.
reason AI has been shut down by the world, like
Or
who
I
knows?
didn't learn that in college. They never taught us that. That's
Yeah.
something else that I've heard before from employees that I've had in the past.
Hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you missed it. Or when I look out into my class, okay, bye. I'm gonna be quiet.
All right, let's continue on here. So, yeah, this is what we were just talking about. If you're having an analyze, if you're on that Bloom's taxonomy level where you need your students to analyze something, then a diagram and filling out the diagram, as Tracy said, would be more aligned with what the objective is for the module, and then also the outcome that you hope to have them complete by the end of the course. I like this part here where it says another good clue to potential misalignment is if your assignments are focused on time-consuming creative projects that result in minimal intellectual impact in relation to the amount of time invested by the students. So I like creative projects. I think creativity, I mean, if you look at 21st century skills, um, you've got the 4 C's, creativity, collaboration, communication, and there's one more, critical thinking, of course. Uh, but I do agree that if you're just giving them a creative project just to fill the time, right? Like sometimes the way I think about it, less of a creative project, but more like, when I was teaching ESL, I would play these games, and I always made sure that if I was going to do a game with my students, especially if they're adult students, there needs to be uh, there needs to be a purpose behind it. It's not just, oh, we're just going to play Hangman just because we have, extra 10 minutes and Hangman's a fun game. Hangman takes a lot of time and there's no real, like, there's not a lot that you can get from it. It's just guessing letters and then trying to guess a word. So, I like the idea if you're going to do a creative project, then make sure that the relation to the amount of time invested gives enough intellectual impact. Kat, I see you have your hand up.
I just have to give my 2 cents a little bit on here.
Sure.
We have an opportunity right now, and we can make what we want of it, really. And if we think about going out in industry is really going to be the test of a true student's effort, right? And knowledge and so forth. And we can take this tool, and if we've already taught our students about a little bit of aspect to it, we can Google an answer just as much as we can AI an answer. But the AI is going to be a little more harder to detect than anything else. But what that brings, the challenge that brings to us is that we have to be more creative as instructors to get to the core of what we're trying to do with an assignment.
Hmm.
and inspire these students, because without the inspiration of wanting to learn something, then they're just going to copy and paste off of anything, and that's what they've done for years, and they have. And so we can show them other ways that they can use it, that they're going to encounter in their job, or that they may encounter with their job, that will then help lessen the load and the work that they have to do when they're working with a client, but yet fulfill a lot more of the requirements, or maybe actually provide more options for a client. Um, depending on what the industry is. But with the design, like Jaya, you're in the design, right? Oh,
I am, but these are like critical thinking questions or projects. Design projects, I don't have that issue with because they do turn in, work that I clearly know they've done, but
mhm.
we don't have that advancement yet for really doing like an interior design project and not doing it ourselves.
Right, right. And well, like, so for example, and this is something that when Ronald, we went to that AI thing in Microsoft, right?
Yep.
There was a gal that came up and she was gung-ho about this picture that she created. And it was detailed, wasn't it?
Right. When we
Like
were doing the
extremely
image
detailed, like
creation.
with the words and like use this as impressionism and all this other stuff. And
Mhm.
what I automatically thought about at that moment was, oh my gosh, what if students don't know what the age of impressionism or what art or design elements look like? How can they give it that feedback to describe or to prompt um something to create something that maybe your typical individual wouldn't be able to do? The knowledge behind that, right? um and so just not even as a design instructor, I'm thinking, oh, that's what I would do completely, is hone in on those aspects so that if they were ever to be able to use, or you're enabling them to be able to prompt something to do this at a
Mhm.
different level. I mean, today people, I know people that can't Google. That
Right.
they're it's a skill,
It is.
and it's something, and to find an answer, and you kind of have to, that's the critical thinking aspect, is what are you going to put into it in order to provide the results that you have in your mind or your head,
Bingo.
you
Right.
know um to
Right.
be able to make something easier.
Yeah.
So the imagery that you get with a software like Midjourney or one of those photo realism, Ronald, you were playing with those. We have some
Yeah, text
examples.
to image.
Yeah, so I think that we are not asking our students to create those, and so we're using regular Adobe software, and so they have to do all their work inside of a specific software, and we are teaching them how, like in Photoshop, how they can use generative AI to like fill out a background or change the scale of a page. So we're teaching it there, and we want to see it there. It's just just when we're asking them to be thoughtful in their head, because there are a lot of critical thinking matters in interior design, we want them to be able to think about them. And I think, here's what I think. I think that when I had a textbook and I could look for answers and thumb through the pages, I had to read a lot of that to find my answer. So I was actually taking in the information, even with an open book exam. But if I just have Chat GPT spit it out at me and I don't even check it or whatever, then you know what I'm saying? That's not good. So yes, I mean design, interior design is getting to that point, but most of the support that we have for practically, being a professional in design does not do the thinking for us yet. But we're close. I know that we're close. The layouts or the space planning, they don't do that, or if they do it, it's a very generic kind of layout. Like for kitchens, maybe they have something.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, because as as it becomes more ubiquitous and more people are using it and experimenting with it, and as the models get better, like it's going to be interesting to see how it changes all the industries. But um, for now, what we can do, it sounds like y'all are doing your best to try to uh, curb usage, and if the students are still doing it anyways, like at least you went in and you talked to them. And I think the biggest thing is to just illustrate how, if you do it this way, then um, you're missing out on the actual learning that will be helpful for you later on. I know you talked about I was the same way. It's like I'm in school. I'm focusing on this. Like I have like a rough idea of what I want to do in the future, but like I'm just kind of focused on trying to get the grades now. I just want to get a good grade so that that's what they look at in the future. They look at your resume. They look at your GPA, and it's like, oh, this person's got a high GPA. They're gonna do well at the school. Well, if the GPA is high because they were using AI to do all the assignments, then like I feel like that's going to be a big thing in the future, where um, maybe during the interview process, like I already see it now in my field of instructional design, where if you're going to go for a job interview, they're going to have you do some sort of project, like just for the interview. You have to put something together so that they can see, oh, this person actually does know what they're doing and they can do it, quickly. But yeah, that's right. Kat in the chat says, can you do the job, not how high is your GPA? So coming back to what we're talking about here, this is where we are working on those assignments, whether it's an assignment they have to do, whether it's a quiz, whether it's a presentation that they have to give, as long as they're aligned to what you've already established. Like in this course, we've been mapping out everything and we've been aligning everything. And hypothetically, if they do all the things and they, meet all the outcomes of your course, then they've met all the outcomes of your program. And then now they're ready to go and do everything in the workplace. But now we're on that ground level. It's like, okay, are my assessments authentic? Are they things that they're going to have to do in industry? Is the knowledge that they're trying to get, like, is that going to be helpful for them to do whatever projects they need to do later? And so this one specifically focusing on making sure the level of blooms is correct. So here's another example that's out of alignment. Sounds great, right? Like I love a presentation. I love me a presentation because I feel like you can't really Chat GPT a presentation. Like maybe you can have it make the script for you, but like you talking is you talking. And so but at the same time, if you're not at that create level, that's kind of that top level. This one I see as like a, later on in the course, maybe it's like the last week and you have to give a presentation on everything that you learned in the course. That makes sense to me. But depending on where it is, here it's saying, so if we look at the course outcome here, evaluate the role and function of media in the American political system. This one's hitting a little too close to home right now. Judge how interactions between modern presidents and the media shape policy and public information. And then, okay, that's how we're evaluating. But then the actual assessment here is a presentation about how the president of your choice interacted with the media during their time in office. So I get it. I like that it's talking about this and it looks like it's related. It's definitely related. But if I'm evaluating something, interaction between modern presidents. And so, I mean, it just seems like maybe this might be too much creative project. That's what it's saying here. Too many creative project. Let's look at a better aligned one here. So it says evaluate, does the media do a good job informing the public, or does it merely reflect what the powerful want us to think are important issues of the day? So here you have a question that they need to think about and they need to evaluate. Still has that alignment, right? Actually, it's more aligned, right? Because it's got that same Bloom's taxonomy level of evaluate. I was gonna do this earlier, but I forgot, so I'm gonna do it now. Just give me a second. I'm putting this here, but I'm gonna turn off my. Yeah, hold on, just a second. There we go. This one.
If I had 20/20 vision, I could actually read that.
Oh no. I'll shoot you the message in the chat.
I see it. I got it.
Oh, okay.
Starts with an A.
Starts with an A. All right.
Bring it back into focus there, Ron.
No, I'll put it in the chat for you, Don.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks. These old eyes appreciate it.
I got you. So trying to be inclusive for everyone here. Okay. Thoughtful consideration of what constitutes acceptable evidence of skill mastery for each outcome and objective will help you plan assessments that are appropriate, relevant, and meaningful. So those are the three adjectives that we want to look for when we are designing an assessment. I'm gonna give you all a second here to read this last couple paragraphs, and then we'll talk about the assignments and then what we can do for that. And then I'm hoping we can do some work with AI here today, but we'll see how it goes. So I'll let y'all read this one for about a minute, and then we'll talk about it. Okay. Okay, so how to measure, right? Once we've decided what's appropriate, relevant, and meaningful, we have to decide how we're going to measure that. And you all read that. So authentic assessments may be also referred to as performance assessments, alternative assessments, or direct assessments. That's fancy. Okay, so our assignment here for this one, 3.1.A, use a course map worksheet or another method of choice to map your course and identify any gaps or redundancies in your curriculum. Hopefully you all have something like a course map. What I use for this course in particular is I've heard it referred to as a crosswalk, where I have what module it is, what the lesson is, and then this is mainly just focused on the objective and the CLO, PLOs, and CWLOs, the outcomes. But to add, like if I were to add in a column, for this course, it's let's see here. 20, so like we're on week 21. So for this one, just us being together here and talking, the way that I assess that is through the quiz. And so we have the quiz secret code that you have to put in just to show that you were here and you're paying attention. Hey, Kelly, how's it going?
Hey, I'm good. I was helping a student and just got offline, so sorry for being late.
Nope, you don't need to apologize. The students come first. But I'm just happy to see you here.
Well,
And then
thank you.
so now, if I look here, I've got the indicators. So for this course, we've got multiple ways that this can be assessed, which if you all are familiar with Universal Design for Learning, it's always good to have multiple ways that people can show that they've met the objective. Not always the easiest thing to do. Like this is where using something like Chat GPT could help to create some alternative assignments as opposed to just doing it one way. But sometimes you just need to do it that one way. Like if you know, Kelly's always talking about bootloaders and Linux and all that stuff, and like you need to do it that way to be able to show that you know how to do it. There's not like a alternative way that you
Absolutely. You got to get to the goal. Does it work?
so, but then also at the same time, like if I'm I teach a technology literacy course to students, adult basic education in the morning. And today I'm showing them how to, you know, do stuff in Excel, like put formulas together and autofill and uh, connecting, like, I don't remember what do we even call them? It was like, oh yeah, references, absolute references and dynamic references. There's like multiple ways you can do that. Like there's a fill button, there's a button up top, you can right click. And so whatever way, it doesn't matter whatever way they do it, just as long as they can show me that they can do that thing. You know what I mean? So I'm curious. I know that we've in this space, we've had people share their course maps. Uh, does anybody have a course map that they would be willing to share that has assignments or assessments built in? Has anybody gotten to that point yet? That's a good one, Kat. I just saw it in the chat. The next question, if nobody has anything that they want to share, have you gone through and looked at your assessments? I'm sure you all have gone through and you know mapped them to your modules and mapped them to your course learning outcomes. But has anybody, since we're talking about AI, has anybody gone through and redone their assessments to make it so that they're less prone to students using AI to finish them?
In my situation, no. Like I said, with technology, it works or it doesn't,
Mhm.
with the exception of like Windows, there's three ways to do something, right?
Mhm.
But if they want to pass the certification, they have to do it the way the certification says, or they're not going to pass it. But in my class, as long as they get to the end goal, I'm good with it. But on the other hand, I have to have them focus on the way that the certification. See, we
Yeah.
don't teach the certs. We teach the industry so they can get jobs, but we still have to point out, the industry wants you to do it this way, even though there's a shortcut.
Mm.
Um, you know what I mean? But as
Or
far
the
as
or at least
assessing,
the cert wants you to do it that way.
right, right. So we may have to make adjustments because of that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, okay, and then what about, so anybody, I have to flip to the question, if you have to adjust your assessment based on AI, has anybody adjusted their assessment not to prevent them from using it, but encourage them to use artificial intelligence?
Well, I have.
Yeah, oh, right. You said earlier, right? You got your
Well,
students
I
using
did, and I asked students to upload their prompts and then upload what they are turning in so that I could read through them and help them. Only 2 students did that on my request.
Oh, okay.
The rest of them just, yeah, I'm telling you. I,
It was an actual assignment, or it was just something that you were like, try
Yeah,
this
it was
out.
an actual assignment. I put it up there, use caution. I had the orange thing, and then I said, if you're going to use AI, then please do this. And then I gave them a prompt to put in, to
Yeah.
copy and put in, and then they were supposed to upload their own work, their own words, and then have Chat GPT revise it for them, check the spelling, check the grammar.
Hmm.
I had them just review it, make sure that it flowed like a reasonable, written assignment.
Yeah.
But two students did it, so we're getting.
That's good, but
These are
I'm
younger
curious.
students
For
also.
me as
I'm
a
not.
student, it would be like, oh, this is great to try this out, but were they like scared of it or something?
I really don't know. The entry level students are they're not even sure what they're doing there, like you said. So I really, with all respect, it seems that our students, about the fourth quarter, start to settle in and look at what they've been doing. So fourth,
Mm,
fifth, and sixth, they're attentive and they have improved understanding of the professional life. But before that, I mean, with all, I guess, they are still maturing and figuring out life and wondering what they're doing there or why they chose this. You know what I'm saying? It's just all these things now. I'm just so much more aware of. I'm just aware of it now, and I feel sometimes powerless to really direct them and help them. But the older students, when they're getting ready to work and all that, they're right with me. They're showing their cameras online, they're doing all of that. But I thought I would help the younger ones because when I started to teach other students, they told me that they learned some of this in high school. So I figured that some of the students coming in may have picked some of this up from high school, and I didn't want to leave them behind.
mm,
So,
yeah.
so
Yeah, and it's tricky too, because especially the younger ones that are just coming in off of like I guess it's been a couple of years since COVID, but still, like some people are coming in from COVID, and it's a different group of people. Like the the people that are graduating that went through that, like they have a different experience, and um,
A
it's tricky sometimes to
huge
know the
difference
right way.
experience.
Yeah.
Hugely different. They were hugely different
yeah,
experience.
that's what I'm just really understanding. And then I see that you wrote Grammarly in the chat. Yeah, I'll
Oh, did you
You're
mute your?
muted, Jaya.
Yeah. What happened? I did not mute you. What happened?
Oh, maybe I did. I was going to say that I always recommend Grammarly every class, twice during the year or whatever. Um, and what I was saying was that I find sometimes Grammarly is a little too assertive. Like it's just really, and not that I'm just a poor writer, because I'm not that poor of a writer, but it's just, you know what I mean? It's very strict. It uses all the rules.
Oh, I was
Mm.
only mentioning Grammarly because it was actually the um that's actually built on AI.
Right. Well, it's
So like you were doing the same thing but with Chat GPT.
right.
Mm.
Right. As far as that goes, yeah, it wasn't just doing that though. They were aligning the assignment, correct, putting it together. But yeah, you're right. I could just have them use Grammarly before they send it to me, but I
But
don't know.
it
Check.
costs money. Grammarly costs money.
It does now. I was using it free.
Oh, maybe it's free now. I
Or
didn't know
They
that
maybe.
either.
probably have the thing where it's like you can use it 10 times and then
Oh
Yeah, it's
no.
limited. You
They
can you
Oh,
can
they have
use
a
it for
scaled
free.
down version. There's a
I,
scaled down version for free.
yeah.
Then it yells at you and says, "You could get a lot more done if you pay for it."
It- oh, I didn't. I have never seen
or
that.
maybe
I
it's
guess
like a
maybe.
low intermediate like English level, so it only fixes a couple of no, that was a joke. That's
it's
would not
like
be a
that.
very good
What is
model.
that math one? The math program that did that. It'll help you do the math, but it won't show you how you did it unless you pay for it.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Yeah, my
Khan
students were
Academy?
showing me that. I don't remember the name of it.
Let's see, $12 a month for the premium version
Are we
of
doing grammar?
Grammarly.
Okay, let's check it.
Yeah.
Family pricing. I always look at the pricing
12
page.
a month, that's what, two coffees, right?
but like they get that now in the online version of Word is essentially because they
Oh,
have Copilot right there. So they're
Yeah.
still using it there. Like we actually just got implemented on our end for the faculty, but I saw it on the student end for a long time.
which one? Grammarly?
The Copilot.
Oh, Copilot. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But like, so when they open up a Word document, start typing, Copilot's going to make suggestions.
Yeah, I noticed Google does that too.
Similar to Grammarly. Yeah.
Google's always in your face. They're like, do you want to do AI? AI?
Yeah, exactly.
Like the old-fashioned Clippy from
Yeah,
the
exactly.
90s.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Oh my
That is,
gosh, yeah. Clippy.
I just
It's
got
so
triggered.
annoying, but now I kind of miss it and stuff
Oh,
too.
there it is. Yeah.
That's great.
Wanna do
You
the
guys don't use
It's like,
Clippy?
no, I don't. Please stop.
What's wrong with you all?
Oh, you like Clippy?
I never even heard of Oh, there he is. Yeah, no,
Oh,
I don't know that.
how could you have not heard of him?
Is Clippy the father to AI or something? Or
I
the,
think
you
so.
know,
I do
Oh,
really.
browser. Yeah, no, I don't.
that's crazy.
It is.
Is he an
I mean,
Apple guy? Clippy, is he
no.
Apple?
No, use Microsoft. I always
Office
thought it was
Suite.
Yeah.
He,
Oh, use Office Suite? Was he? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's in the Office Suite.
yeah, up in Redmond, they used to sell like little plush, like stuffed Clippy
Oh, I know. I'm
dolls.
seeing this thing right here. Like,
Uh,
so
I
cute.
remember that.
Check this guy out. This is a nice Halloween costume. All right, let's stay focused here. So, let's talk about 3.1 point B real quick here, just to finish up our time. I'll leave this up on the screen so y'all can read that one. But basically here, course includes a clear explanation describing the relationship. We've talked about this before, talking about with your students, okay, this is what we're doing in this module. This is how it relates to the class. This is how it relates to the program. Last week, if y'all watched the video, or I think who was here last week? Derek was here. Kelly was here. Y'all remember no, Poppy? Poppy was showing us how in her assignments, she in the top section of the assignment, it lists what course learning outcomes are being addressed in that assignment. So she goes over it with them. It's in Canvas. And so this is kind of the extension of that. So now we've got the module level. Well, actually, I think it is the same because she was doing it for her assessments. And I think we were talking about assessments last week as well. So that's basically what I'm talking about. So having in somewhere in your, whether you're speaking it or whether it's listed, letting the students know this is important because this is one of the outcomes of this course and yada, 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 which is one of the outcomes of the program and all that kind of stuff. So, here we go. Just, I think the first sentence here says the whole thing. Without a clearly defined path, students may focus on learning incorrect skills and or may not master the skills that you intended at the desired level. So you know what's expected, but making sure your students know what's expected of them. The course map is good. I don't think we've ever talked about sharing the course map with the students. I always share this with y'all and let you know, like if you go into any of the assignments, come down here to the alignment part, you can click on this. Nope, not that. You can click on this. Nope, not that either. Oh, I thought I had it listed, but I guess if you go to the home and then you click on alignment, then you can see here, these are all the outcome alignments listed there so that you can go through and say, oh, okay, 2021, we're working on, where are we at here? Implementing curriculum and assessments. This is our, in this course, we're focusing on assessment alignment. So here you can see very clearly the line, like down the line. And so some methods here that you can do that. Link to or inline display of a course map document, outline, or other graphic illustrating how everything's working together, putting it in the syllabus or in the start module. So I have mine on this homepage in this alignment tab. I'll let y'all read all these ones, and I'll pick out anything that especially grabs me as something that's, you know, is doable without too much extra work. Oh, this one, numbers to the course outcomes. This one's pretty good. This was covered in this coursemapguide.com, where if you're mapping the course, I think it was here in this alignment section. No, actually, I think it was in the course map template. So actually, speaking of course map templates, this is a good one. If you haven't seen this yet, I believe we've talked about it in the past. This one has everything lined up pretty nicely. And actually, what I was hoping to do was to take like any information that y'all have now and mapping it out to something like this. Actually, yeah, let's see here. So this one here, you've got, zoom it in for you. You've got your modules, you've got your CLOs, and so you can see here the numbers are referencing up here. You've got your module learning outcomes, how you're planning to assess that, and then you've got other activities and instructional materials that you need, you know, important but not, I mean, useful but not so important, these last ones here. This kind of guides you with what you're going to be doing in the class. But yeah, having the call it MLOs, to add another acronym, the MLOs that have the assessments right next to them. So I know I've seen this before. Tracy has a really nice course map that she put together. I'm not going to ask you to share it again, but very similar to how that looks. Assessments. Here's some information about assessments. We'll talk about the difference between formative and summative later. So that's why I'm not going into that now. But I would say if there's a way to gather all your information, you could take a document like this and say, you know, get all the information from your course, maybe a current course map if you have one, syllabus could work, going into your course and just, like, this is a really kind of messy way to do it, but selecting all your modules in Canvas, and then copying that into like a notepad or something like that, and then going to Chat GPT. Let's see how this will work. We only got a couple of minutes left. And actually, I have this up here because this is, if you went through the generative AI in higher education course, this one, which y'all should be able to access this because I think we put all the faculty in here. And actually referring to those C's I was talking about earlier, this one goes over how to make assignments with generative AI. But to fill out the course map, I'll do something like, and this is not going to be perfect. And oh, what is this? 2 new reasons.
I just got that too. Popped up.
Ooh, I want to try it out, but not right now. So I'll say something like, can you take the contents from my course and make them into a course map. So this is not good prompt engineering. It's very basic. I would probably add like a role or format and stuff like that. But just to like quickly show you all what I'm talking about.
Hey, Ronald, I tried this with the free version and it was messed up. And then I bought the 4.0
Mm-hmm.
and that helped some, but I had to give it a lot of guidance, I
Oh,
guess.
really?
Yeah. It was formatted kind of messed up.
Yeah, I don't know even know if this is gonna work because sometimes there's like a limit, and especially if you're using the free one, then
Right.
it's not gonna let me paste all of this
Yeah, the
in.
free one, it just dumped it all into like one big paragraph. And then the the paid for one, the 4.0, 4.0,
Yeah,
that was better. Um, but it's still I had to go through and go through and go through it and I still was struggling to get it to work.
really? Huh.
I even thought, well, I'll make it like a template document and throw it up there and that seemed to help the template.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the more you give it, the better. I don't know. For me, the better I get.
Have you
Um,
ever attached a document and said, I want this data put into this document in this format and get it to actually do it? Do you get what I mean? Like
It's like
replace.
50-50, man. Like I'm surprised right
Yeah.
now. I'm looking right now and I'm like, this is pretty good. Like it's doing exactly what I asked it to do on
Yeah.
a very like limited prompt.
Oh,
But
yeah.
um
Is that free though, or is that the paid one? Is that the
nah,
free
this is
one?
all one. This is the paid version. So
Okay.
I imagine the
Yeah,
prompt
I got something like that, but it was scrambled. I had to sit down and read it, and I was laughing because
it's
it
all
was
jumbled up.
it was jumbled. Yeah.
Hold on, let me try this one real quick. I know it's 2 o'clock, so if y'all gotta go, you gotta go. I understand. Just want to see if I can do one quick. Oh, it keeps making me log in. I don't want to log in. Let me just go. ChatGPT.com. Oh, are they making people log in now? No.
No, it's
What?
your cookies. It's the cookies.
Ah, it's the cookies.
Yeah. It
All right.
knows you was there.
I'm gonna go get some cookies now. So that was our week 21. Those were the assignments, and that is our lesson. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate your time, and
How many more lessons do we got?
we're going to 30.
Okay.
So 8.
Cool.
So you just said this was 21.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't pass the exam for 20.
Oh
I
yeah.
couldn't, I was trying to figure out where we are. So, okay, I'm just going to
We're
go
on
to 20.
21.
Yeah, thank you.
There you go. Okay, everyone. I'll see
Oh, are you
y'all.
going to hang up or do you want to talk to me?
Uh,
Or do you have to go pick up your kid?
I do gotta go pick up my kids. So let me
Okay,
what
then
about 3 o'clock? Do you want to like talk at 3
yeah,
or you want
when
me to?
if you have a chance, yes. I don't need, we can talk Monday if you want.
Okay. Let me check your email and then
Yeah.
I'll
Okay.
contact you.
Thank you, Ronald. Thanks, everyone. Bye, everyone.
We'll see ya.
Bye.
Thank you
See
guys.
ya.